Coming up on OU Nightly, back and forth between state leaders over immigration policies at Oklahoma schools, the sharp words from Governor Stitt and President Trump promising more tariffs on foreign imports, what we know about the president's plans.
And the Arctic blast returns, when we could see more winter weather chances and those sub-zero wind chills. This is OU Nightly.
Tonight, we begin with updates on the tension rising between our state superintendent Ryan Walters and Governor Kevin Stitt. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Abby Hollinsworth.
And I'm Hallie McPherson. And before we get into those details of those back and forth comments, we have some weather to get into. We had a late start here at OU due to the ice that froze over last night, and it's looking like this is only the first round of winter weather.
OU Nightly meteorologist Rachel Mosshammer is live in studio. Rachel, can you tell us more about these temperatures?
Yeah, Abby, Hallie, it is cold and it is just going to get colder. Look at these feels like temperatures for Wednesday, negative 22 degrees in Kansas City. So it is going to get really cold in the next week. But for now, current temperatures in Norman, 34 degrees in Norman, 32 in Oklahoma City, 31 in Elk City. So we're teetering right on that freezing line. But coming up, we'll talk about that winter weather, the Arctic blast timeline, what we know for snow and ice next week, and then your Valentine's forecast when you go out tomorrow.
Thanks, Rachel. Tonight, more fallout over State Superintendent Ryan Walters' promise to enforce President Trump's policy that would allow immigration agents into Oklahoma schools. In his weekly press conference, Governor Stitt made it clear he doesn't support the superintendent's plans.
In Oklahoma, our Constitution says we're going to educate all kids. And I want to make sure that every kid feels safe and is being educated in the state of Oklahoma. But to use our kids as political pawns is unbelievable to me.
The back and forth between the governor and superintendent started earlier this week after Governor Stitt removed 3 State Board of Education members upsetting Walters. On a post on X, Walters said Governor Stitt, quote, has joined the swampy political establishment that Trump is fighting, going on to say his decision is disappointing but not surprising.
Oklahoma is now one step closer to banning cell phones in the classroom. The bill hit the House floor and passed with 82 yes votes and 9 no votes. The bill author believes if it passes, it will help students thrive in the classroom.
I'm confident, like I said, we'll have support from every step along the way from the governor on down. So like I said, this is one of those things that the data is so clear on. It really is a pretty straightforward and simple solution. We just need to get it going in the state of Oklahoma.
The cell phone ban bill will now go to the Senate floor to be voted on. If it passes, it will go to the governor's desk for one final decision.
The city of Norman is hosting an open house event at the Emergency Communications and Operations Center. The city is inviting the public and emergency preparedness partners to visit the new facility and learn more about training and emergency operations. The event takes place on February 15th at 12:30.
And one more member of President Trump's cabinet is approved, while another moves closer to a final vote. Clay Webster has that and the rest of today's national headlines from the News Center.
Today, President Trump's nominee for Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., gained final approval from the Senate. Kennedy's confirmation comes after weeks of hearings and deliberation, with most critics concerned about his views on vaccine safety. Also today, President Trump's nominee for FBI Director, Kash Patel, gained approval from the Senate Judiciary Committee and advances to the Senate floor. And President Trump announces plans for sweeping reciprocal tariffs on foreign imports. The tariffs would charge countries the same tax on American goods as they charge to import their own. Reciprocal tariffs were a key campaign promise for Trump, who claims the U.S. is being, quote, ripped off by our trading partners. Critics claim the tariffs will increase inflation and place more cost on the American consumer. And President Trump says that negotiations to end the Russia-Ukraine war will begin immediately after a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. According to Trump, the two presidents spoke for nearly an hour and a half about Ukraine, the Middle East, energy, and AI. At the same time, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth spoke to NATO leaders in Brussels, saying that it is unrealistic for Ukraine to join NATO. And at a press conference today, President Trump reiterated his desire to make Canada the 51st state. Abby, Hallie, back to you.
Thanks, Clay. Buying flowers are always a go-to when it comes to gift giving for a Valentine. OU Nightly's Tanae Fletcher has how those plans might be affected.
With Valentine's Day coming up, local florists are getting ready for their busiest time of the year.
But still, for our town, we still do a very big Valentine's, and I think it's because of the college.
Family-owned shops like Betty Lou's and Red Bud Floral expect to fulfill anywhere between 500 to 600 orders during this week. While customers should be excited to receive their beautiful bouquets, they may not be excited for a potential upcharge. With talk of tariffs on outside providers, there is a chance for a slight increase in price.
Because of the way the world has changed, sometimes I order things directly from farms, mostly in South America. Okay, cool. The flowers come from all over the world.
Both the owners of Betty Lou's and Red Bud Floral haven't seen any immediate effects because of tariffs. Even though both stores were impacted by last year's inflation, both owners are calmly waiting to see what happens. And while they wait, they will continue serving their communities the way they know how.
I get to do social work every day and serve people who are hurting and serve people who want to continue their love relationship, and I can help with that.
Reporting for OU Nightly, Tanae Fletcher.
Thanks, Tanae. Many local flower shops around Norman are still trying to help out the community during Valentine's Day, despite the possible tariff impact. Coming up, what the CDC is saying about flu compared to COVID.
And what experts are saying about the flu reaching record-breaking levels.
Plus, how weight loss drugs are having surprising effects.
Find out what unexpected addiction could be treated.
Flu rates hit a record high in the U.S. Kariana Gamboa has the latest numbers in today's Health Beat.
Recent CDC data shows the number of deaths caused by the flu has passed the number of COVID deaths for the first time. During the last week of January, almost 2% of deaths reported were due to the flu, while only 1.5% were COVID related. Data also shows that flu cases in the U.S. have risen to the highest levels in 15 years. Southern states are experiencing a measles outbreak, mainly in children. Health officials in Texas say at least 24 cases have been confirmed in the rural western part of the state. All were unvaccinated patients. A case has also been confirmed in New Mexico. The unvaccinated teenager reportedly had no exposure history to the Texas outbreak. As more studies on GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic come out, new research shows it also leads people to drink less alcohol. A study found that those taking low doses of semaglutide for 9 weeks consumed and craved less alcohol. This is the first clinical trial, and researchers say larger studies could help decide if the drugs are a new possible treatment for alcoholism. And getting your sweetheart something special on Valentine's could help their overall health. Data suggests gifts like flowers and candy can help lower the risk of heart disease. Abby, Hallie.
Thanks, Kariana. Coming up, they say you can't buy love, but some gifts are going to be pricier this Valentine's Day.
And find out how much a relationship is going to cost you on this love day.
And speaking of love, we've got your Valentine's Day forecast and that Arctic Blast timeline when we come back. Welcome back to OU Nightly. We're so glad to have you here on this cold Thursday afternoon. We are looking at our Weather Center cam right now. We've got sunny skies. That ice is starting to melt. You wouldn't know that it is 34 degrees outside. We've got a light wind out of the northeast at 9 miles an hour. So it's making that temperature right now feel a little bit colder than what it actually is. The feels like temps in Norman are at 26 degrees, so it is chilly outside. Current temperature statewide we're seeing 34 degrees in Norman, 32 in Oklahoma City, and 31 in Elk City. So we are teetering right on that freezing line, and it is cold. Now, for tonight, we're going to cool down even more. We'll have 23 degrees in Norman, 22 in Oklahoma City, 20 out in Elk City. So the story isn't changing much. We're staying pretty cold, but again, like we see right now with those wind chills, we'll see even more wind chills tonight. It'll get even colder. Look at these wind chills going through your Thursday evening into Friday morning. We're going to see 17 degrees in Norman, 14 degrees in Elk City, 20 degrees in Lawton. So it'll feel a lot colder than what it actually is because of that wind coming out of the north. Now, tomorrow we're going to warm up though. We'll see 44 degrees in Norman, 44 in Oklahoma City, 60s out in Guyman. So it's definitely not those freezing temps that we are seeing right now in Oklahoma. Now, on Saturday, we do have a chance for some rain that'll come through the Norman area. Now, it could just be some drizzle, as well as we're not really sure where that freezing line is going to be. So on the back end of that, we could see some flurries for Saturday and your Sunday morning. But again, that's still up in the air, and it's kind of a nowcast situation. So wherever that freezing line ends up being, we could see some flurries, we could see some drizzle. We're not sure just yet, but here's what we do know. For that next system that comes in this next week, we're going to have a lot more colder air, a lot more moisture than what we had with that last system. And then this timeline, it's going to be around Tuesday and Wednesday. Now again, that uncertainty, the same thing that we're seeing with Sunday, as we're not exactly sure where that freezing line is going to be. So it could be rain, it could be snow, it could be ice, but again, it's all with the timeline we'll figure out going into your Sunday, Monday evenings. Looking at our temperature outlook though, we are going to be below average through most of the state as well as eastern parts of the nation. It's just going to get cold really quickly. So we've seen cold weather now, but that's not the end. It's going to get a lot colder. Looking at our national forecast, our next system is set out in the west again. We'll have that cold air stick around for your Saturday and Sunday. Some flurries possible in the panhandle, but then again, some more cold air going through this week. Looking at those future wind chills again, we're just going to get cold through Tuesday and Wednesday. We could see sub-zero wind chills. So look at these wind chills for your Tuesday afternoon. We're looking at -4 degrees in Norman. So it's going to get cold. Now those snow chances, like I was telling you, we have a moderate chance for the metro. So it's all up in the air whether or not we'll see that snow because of that freezing line, but there is that chance. Looking for your Valentine's Day, if you are going out or staying in, where temperatures will start in the 40s, they'll dwindle down into the lower 40s by your evening. And then your 7-day, look at these cold temperatures. We'll see cold temperatures through your weekend. And then Tuesday, we have that chance for flurries, for snow mix, whatever it may be. But ladies, it's looking like an indoors Valentine's Day for tomorrow. So
Yeah, I'm definitely having an indoors day. I'm having Galentine's.
yeah, love that.
Yep.
I can agree with that one.
Yep. So probably just gonna get some food and ice cream.
And under a blanket.
Yep. True. How about you?
I think I'm probably going to stay indoors. I have a puppy. I have a new puppy, so I'm probably going to cuddle up with her and stay warm. So
Thanks, Rachel.
of course.
It's not just eggs that inflation is affecting. Many traditional Valentine's Day gifts are on the rise as well. Brian Abel reports on what may be a bit more pricey for your last-minute V-Day gifts.
If finding the right person to share Valentine's Day with wasn't tough enough.
Dating always comes with its challenges, but there's no question that in the last few years, it's just gotten more and more expensive financially.
This year, according to Lending Tree, Americans in relationships plan on spending an average of nearly $200 on the big day, though it may not go as far.
There's no question that inflation's gonna make Valentine's Day more expensive this year.
And two of the most traditional gifts for a Valentine are not immune.
We looked at chocolates, which are about 8% more expensive than they were last year.
That's the average. While price increases varied, some sweet treats jumped by 35%. So Schultz says it's important to shop around and maybe find this as a silver lining.
The price of producing chocolate has gone up more than the price that consumers have been paying for chocolate. So there's a little bit of a good news thing there for consumers that it's not necessarily as bad as it could have been.
And if you want to gift a little glitz this year, get ready to pay more.
Jewelry is about 4 or 5% more expensive.
A reminder, while inflation may make gift giving more expensive, love, as the saying goes, doesn't cost a thing.
With chocolate and cocoa prices rising, it's costing major chocolate companies more money to produce the product. And one school is looking to make a dent in Oklahoma football's coaching staff.
Will one OU legend stick to his Sooner roots?
And Sooner fans can mark their calendars for a busy weekend ahead because of a schedule change that was just announced. And hear one Golden Spice candidate outlook on the season next up in sports. Hello, I'm Brooke Griggs, and it's time for sports. Oklahoma's coaching staff is taking a pause from playing musical chairs, much to Penn State's dismay. Former Sooner and NFL running back coach DeMarco Murray is here to stay. According to On3, Murray will remain as the running back coach for Oklahoma after denying Penn State's pitch to fill a vacant spot for the same position. And Oklahoma men's basketball took a trip to Missouri last night, but their ball handling skills stayed in Norman. The Sooners could not bounce back from a 20-point deficit at the half. But what could fans expect after OU faced 3 ranked teams in a row as the Sooners fell 82-58?
Trying to muster up offense right now. When you're going through a 3-game skid and I got to put it in perspective because I know how my gut's hurting because we're not playing good basketball, but it also is Auburn, Tennessee, and Missouri, 3 of the top 12 teams in the country.
And Trae Young proved why he belongs in the NBA All-Star game. He led the Hawks with a double-double of 38 points and 19 assists, but the New York Knicks prevailed in overtime, 149-148. Austin Reeves also dished out a double-double for the Lakers with 15 points and 11 assists, but with Doncic, James, and Reeves not reaching 20 points, LA fell to the Jazz 131-119. And Miami brought the heat last night. OKC was in a 21-point deficit at the first half of the game, but all the Thunder needed was 6 minutes of Miami not making one shot, leading to a 24-0 run in the fourth, beating the Heat 115-101. OKC looks for their 8th straight win tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tip-offs at 7:30 p.m. OU baseball is in full swing this weekend with double the fun after Sunday's game was moved due to weather. Friday's now a doubleheader beginning at 2 p.m. against Lehigh. But while the schedule moves backwards, the Sooners look forward.
Program for the future, for now and for the future. So it's one of those of, if I can get younger guys to understand what Oklahoma baseball is about, then that not only sets up now, but it also sets up the future. So it's one of those of, I try to do the best I can day in and day out to instill those guys, because once I'm gone, once all 3 of us are gone, then those are the guys running the ship.
OU men's gymnastics Francisco Velez-Belendez was named the CGA Rookie of the Week after the freshman secured a team season high and career high against Stanford and Greensville last Saturday. The Sooners take on Michigan this Saturday at 6 p.m. Hallie, Abby.
Thanks, Brooke. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and if you're over the chocolates and flowers and have a song in your heart,
then we have a unique way to make your special someone feel loved. Coming up next.
I'm Elle Gedman at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Oklahoma Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly crash on icy roads. It happened last night on I-40 and Peebly Road near the Kickapoo Turnpike. Troopers say the car slid off of the road and into the water. 2 people were rescued, but the passenger, 44-year-old Taryn Sorrell, later died. Investigators are working to learn if the driver was impaired. Abby, Hallie.
Thanks, Elle. Last night we had our first round of winter weather, but it's looking like we're going to have some more for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, for sure. Now, we could see, some colder temperatures coming up tomorrow. We will see, let me go back. But we will see those 40s. It's February in Oklahoma when we're saying 40s feels a lot warmer. So our Valentine's Day will start off in the 40s and then dwindle down in the lower 40s. And then looking at our 7-day forecast, we'll have those possibility for those flurries for the snow and ice on Tuesday and then another chance on Saturday.
Thanks, Rachel. If flowers and chocolates aren't your style to give to your Valentine, maybe singing is the way to tell that special someone you love them.
Your significant other can be serrated for Valentine's by the Capitol Chordsman Barbershop Chorus. Take a listen to their singing telegram. Sorry for those technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll be able to hear from them.
Yeah, dang, I really wanted y'all to hear that.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Abby Hollinsworth.
And I'm Hallie McPherson. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live on weekdays at 4:30. Good night.